Alright guys, this is our new jetter that we got. This is our Northwest jetter. We're going to talk about initially firing this thing up. I'll go over the controls real quick if you want to come in a little bit closer. This right here is our water shut off. This is the water on, water is off. With this jetter you want to gradually do everything, even with the ball valve. Slightly going up, slightly going down. Down is in the off position. Right here is our regulator. We do not want to exceed 4,000 psi on any of our hoses. If you attach a smaller hose, of course the pressure is going to jump real high, so you always want to be careful when you're attaching the smaller hoses. So again, this right here is our regulator. Adjust it as needed. This right here is our filter. This right here just unscrews every time. Right now what we want to be doing is prior to every use, always take it out, flush it out, clean it out, and reinstall it back in. Just screws back in. Hand tight where it doesn't leak anymore. This right here is our brake. This is to keep the jetter from moving back and forth, where it's not going to be rolling around when it's in use and vibrating. This right here is our ignition. We slightly turn it once, it gets to the start. These two lights should be a solid red. If you see anything blinking, that means that there's an issue. There's something wrong, most likely with the engine. We'll go ahead and fire this up in a little bit. And this right here is our throttle. We want to throttle gradually up when we want to increase pressure, of course. Then when we're turning off the jetter, gradually going down, bring the pressure down to where it's about between 1,000 and 2,000 psi. Then same thing with this. When we're getting ready to turn it off, gradually shut it down where the water's off. Then go ahead and kill the engine. In case of ever an emergency, the fastest way to kill this jetter would be straight from the ignition. It doesn't really have a delay. So in every case of emergency, kill it straight from the engine to the off position. So right now we have our gauge, our brake engaged. We have our filters on. It's already been cleaned out. So now we're gonna fire it up. Water's off. Our tank is filled up over here in our reservoir. Our water is pressured on. One thing before we fire it up, I'll go over this reservoir for you. It's just like a buffer. If we have low water pressure coming in, low volume coming in, this will help keep it up where the jetter has enough water to pull. Even though we don't have a lot of pressure or a lot of volume of water coming through. This helps preserve the time to keep the water going and without running dry. So you hook up your hose here. There's an automatic flow in here. You can leave your water hose on, and there's an automatic shut off in here that will trigger on and off your water as it needs it. So right now our water hose is on. We have our water hooked up. Our gauge is filled up. This right here is our gas tank. So it looks like right here. You do not want to top this off. Something about the vapor or something like that, it will mess it up. But yeah, so do not top it off above the blue cap inside here. Just go right at the very rim of the tank. You do not need to top this off. It's 2 gallons, just so you guys know. If you guys are filling up at a gas station, just fill it up, 2 gallons, that's it. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up. Again, the water's off. Right now we already fired it up. The engine's not cold, the engine's already been warmed. So if the engine's already warm, we could just crank it over and should be able to start. If the engine is cold, we want to turn the throttle up just a little bit where it has a little bit of gas just to help fire it up. But like I said, in this case, it's already warm, so we don't need to do that. I'm going to keep it dialed down. One other safety issue, do not touch this exhaust. It is very hot, of course, if it's been used. Be very careful where you place your hands and where you place the hose. Keep the jetter hoses and everything away from this, because this gets over 700 degrees. So be careful of that, and let's go ahead and fire this up. I turn it over once. I have 2 solid red lights. That means everything's good. I'm gonna crank it over. Right now, the jetter's already in the clean out. It's in the line, so we're good to go. Now that the jetter has turned on, I'm gonna gradually turn on our water from our ball valve. We start to see our gauge start to go up. Now I'm gonna gradually increase our throttle. And that's how you fire up and turn off this jetter. One thing I do want to remind you guys of again. Right now I'm running the 3/8 hose. This is the bigger hose for this jetter. And right now I have the throttle turned. I have the regulator turned up all the way, and it says right here exactly: do not exceed 4,000 psi. And remember, as soon as you hook up a smaller hose, this regulator should be dialed down. Because like I said, as soon as you attach that smaller hose, the pressure is going to jump up more drastically. So any other questions, contact me or Junior, and we'll help you out. Thank you.